Hello, thanks for joining me, Suzanne from Suzanne Scarrow Live. Let's talk about ways that you can ditch the stress or manage the stress at least in this lead up to a busy time of year for everybody. So there's all sorts of things happening. There's exams going on. There's, end of a year for school and teachers and so on. There's preparations for Christmas. There's what am I going to do next year questions going on. How am I going to, where's my life going, and am I going in the right direction, and so on. What I want you to think about is stress is a good thing in some degree because it actually allows you to, push yourself through when you need to, run from the tiger so much as you need to these days. But it's not good when it's always in your body, when the adrenaline that pumps when you're in that stressed situation pumps so much that it then has cortisol pumping, and the cortisol is the hormone that does the damage in your body. So you don't want to be in a high stress situation in an ongoing way. You want to be able to take time out and release that stress. So what do you do to release the stress? I'd love to hear your comments, because sometimes it's exercise. Sometimes it's meditation. Sometimes it's just completely getting away from whatever it is that's stressing you out and listening to some music, or dancing is a great one, or singing is another great one. When you're doing any of those things, you're actually just taking a break from the stress, and that's exactly what you need to do. Another great way to reduce the stress is to tap it. So you will see me on some of these lives doing this strange tapping thing. It actually releases the stress that's built up in your body, particularly if there's a situation that really stresses you out. Let's just imagine that it's a workmate at, not necessarily a mate, a person at work that gets under your skin. So you can actually do this tapping process and clear your reaction to that person. Or it might be your love partner or your child or something like that, something that's bothering you about one of your loved ones in that way. And you can do this tapping thing to reduce the stress about that. So whatever the stress is, identify it, take a specific piece of it. So let's just imagine it's stress about your child doing their exams. So see yourself in a particular situation, really worried about that child. Perhaps it's the morning they go off to do the exams and you're sitting there really worried about them. Just see yourself in that situation. Give about a 30-second frame of the movie of it. Take that frame, give it a name, give it a number out of 10, and then tap using the words that you would call it. Let's call it monster stress or something like that. So even though I feel this monster stress, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this monster stress, I deeply and completely accept myself. Or at least I'd like to. Even though I feel this monster stress, I deeply and completely accept myself. This monster stress, eyebrow, this monster stress, side of eye, this monster stress, under eye, this monster stress, under nose, this monster stress, under lip, this monster stress, collarbone, this monster stress, under arm, this monster stress, on the wrist, this monster stress, karate, this monster stress, and crown, this monster stress. Big breath. Look back at the frame, the 30-second frame out of your movie. Now I've just used those words monster stress as an example. You can use whatever words fit and just replace where I say monster stress, put your words in and get some relief from whatever it is that's bothering you. Don't hold on to it. Don't feel as though you've got to push through these things, because if you do push through, what happens is that stress builds up in your body. Imagine it like a volcano. So you're putting all these things into the volcano, all the things that you've ever worried about are in there, all the stresses and strains and traumas of your life are in there, and then you add a bit more and add a bit more, and what happens? Big explosion, or implosion more often. And that implosion can be coming out in some sort of illness in your body. So important to reduce the stress. And tapping, to be honest, is the best way that I know. We did name, a few at the beginning of this session, but others are breathing deeply. You can really just focus on your breathing. Just try this now, breathing in. Maybe count to 7. Hold it for about 4. And then exhale for about 7. As you're exhaling, feel it coming out from your belly, out of your lungs, until you're completely empty, and then do the breathing again. Expanding, holding. Now, as you're doing that, you're counting the numbers, counting 7 in, holding for 4, counting 7 out. You're also focused on your breathing. What you're not focused on is the thing that's been stressing you. So just doing that breathing will give you a break from the stress, and that is a good thing. It will also, as you do that slow breathing, it will also calm your heart rate, calm your nervous system. Just like the tapping does calm your nervous system, so will that deep breathing. So if you've got particular things that are stressing you, it's really important to identify what they are, tap them and clear them. Don't hold on to them, get rid of them, because you do not need to hold these things. It doesn't serve anybody, certainly not you, and certainly not your physical health if you hold on to these things that stress you. So name them, identify what it is about it that bothers you, tap them and clear them. Sometimes you'll need a skilled practitioner to help you, but a lot of time you can do this on your own. And you can just give it a scale for how it feels in the beginning, do the rounds of tapping as we just did, just repeat it over and over until you get some relief. When you get some relief, you're aiming for 0 out of 10, but you may not get there in one sitting. That's okay. What you have done just by the tapping, even if you don't notice a difference, you've actually calmed your nervous system down, and that's got to be a good thing. But also think of those other things that you can do. Have a toolbox of de-stressors available to you at all times. It might be reading, might be meditating, might be singing, dancing, listening to music, going for a walk on the beach, petting your animals, just breathing, tapping, all sorts of things. Talking to a friend, going for a coffee with a friend. There's all sorts of ways that you can de-stress. I really encourage you to get that toolbox of de-stressors ready and use them in the daily work lead up really to the busy time of year, but use them every day of your life as well. You don't want to be building up stress, because that can lead to anxiety and that can lead to panic attacks, and that is not a pleasant place to go. It's not unfixable, but you don't want to put yourself through that. So I encourage you with every ounce of my energy today to get that toolbox of de-stressors ready and start using them on a daily basis. Choose whatever you feel like at the time out of the toolbox and calm your body down. Okay, I hope that's been helpful. Have a really wonderful day. You deserve to be happy, so do everything you can to reach for that happy place, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.